There's a strange moment in trading that nobody prepares you for. It's not the moment you make money. It's not the moment you finally figure it out. It's the moment when everything starts to feel quiet. No adrenaline, no excitement, no urge to jump into the market. And weirdly, that's when you're getting better. But here's the problem. Most traders don't actually want that version of success. They say they do. They say they want consistency. But deep down, they're addicted to something else. Movement, emotion, hope, fear. So when real progress starts happening, they sabotage it. Not because they're stupid, but because psychologically, they don't recognize what improvement actually feels like. So let's fix that. These are 5 signs you're mastering your psychology in trading, and none of them feel like winning. Sign number 1, you feel less urgency to trade. At the beginning, you feel like you always need to be in a trade. You open your charts, and your brain starts scanning for anything, any excuse out to enter, because doing nothing feels wrong. It feels like you're missing out. You're wasting time, you're falling behind, so you force trades. Not because they're good, but because silence makes you uncomfortable. But then something shifts, slowly, quietly. You start noticing setups and ignoring them. Not because you're scared, but because they're not good enough. And for the first time, you close your charts without placing a trade, and you feel fine. That's new. That's uncomfortable. Because now you're not feeding the addiction anymore. You're not chasing movement. You're waiting. And waiting is where weak traders fall apart. But for you, it's becoming normal. You stop asking, what can I trade today? And start asking, is there even a reason to trade? That question alone eliminates most of your mistakes. Sign number 2, losses don't trigger you anymore. This one is dangerous because most traders think they've mastered this until they actually take a loss. At the beginning, a loss feels personal. You don't just lose money, you lose control, and your reaction is predictable. You try to win it back quickly. You increase position size, you abandon your rules, you take trades you normally wouldn't. Not because you believe in them, but because you need to erase the feeling. That's revenge trading, and it's not about money, it's about emotional recovery. But then something changes. You take a loss, and nothing happens. No anger, no urgency, no need to fix it, just acceptance. Not fake acceptance, not forced discipline, real, quiet. Okay, that was part of the system. And here's the uncomfortable truth. When you reach this point, losses almost feel boring. And that scares some traders because they've built their identity around reacting. Now there's nothing to react to, just execution, just data, just the next trade. Sign number 3, you follow your plan. Even when it feels wrong, this is where most people break because discipline sounds good until it feels uncomfortable. You'll have moments where your setup appears, your rules are clear. Everything says enter, but your emotions say no, or worse. You'll have moments where your system says don't trade, but everything in you wants to jump in. That's the real test, not knowing what to do, but doing it anyway. At first, following your plan feels forced, like you're holding yourself back, like you're missing opportunities, like you're being too strict. But over time, something changes. You stop negotiating with yourself. There's no internal debate anymore. No. Maybe just this once. No one will know. I'll make an exception. That voice gets quieter. Because you've made a decision. You don't trust your emotions anymore. You trust your process. And that shift is where consistency starts forming. Sign number 4, you stop obsessing over every trade. This one is subtle. At the beginning, every trade feels important. You check it constantly. You watch every tick. You calculate profit before it happens. You imagine what you'll do with the money. You're not trading anymore. You're emotionally invested. And that attachment destroys objectivity because now you're not managing a trade. You're protecting a feeling. But then something changes. You place a trade and you walk away. Not because you don't care, but because you trust the outcome doesn't need your attention. You stop staring at the screen. You stop refreshing your P&L. You stop reacting to every movement. And here's the key shift. You start measuring success differently, not by how much did I make, but by did I follow my plan? That question removes pressure because now your success is something you can control. Sign number 5, trading starts feeling boring. This is the one nobody wants because it sounds like failure, but it's actually the final stage. At the beginning, trading feels exciting. Every trade is a rush. Every win is a high. Every loss is a crash. It's emotional, unstable, addictive, and you mistake that feeling for progress. But real mastery removes that. No more highs, no more lows. Just repetition, execution, routine, and suddenly, trading feels like work, predictable, almost dull. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most traders quit here, not because they're losing, but because they're no longer entertained. They don't miss the money. They miss the feeling, the chaos, the unpredictability, the hope. So they sabotage themselves just to feel something again. But if you stay here, if you accept the boredom, you cross a line most traders never reach. So now the real question is, do you actually want this? Because this version of trading is not exciting. It won't impress anyone. There's no story to tell, no dramatic wins, no emotional moments, just consistency, quiet, controlled, almost invisible progress. And most people can't handle that. They say they want freedom, but what they really want is stimulation. And those two things don't live in the same place. Mastering your psychology in trading doesn't feel like becoming powerful. It feels like losing something. The excitement, the urgency, the emotional highs. But what you gain is control, and control is quiet. So if trading is starting to feel less important, less emotional, less exciting, you're not losing your edge. You're finally developing one. Now be honest with yourself. Which of these signs are you still resisting? Because that resistance is exactly where your next level is hiding.